Welcome to Pennsylvania in Focus. I'm Eliana Kernodle, and joining me today is Christina Lengel, Pennsylvania reporter for the Center Square. AI in Pennsylvania has become quite the topic. It seems to come up on a regular basis these days. So this week we're talking about Pittsburgh and what they're trying to do with AI. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. So Pittsburgh has a bit of a reputation with the AI. It is home to Carnegie Mellon University, which is one of the leaders in AI research. So it's definitely been a focus of attention for AI developments in the state. That's actually where we saw Senator Dave McCormick host the big AI Energy Summit that the president attended earlier this month, or probably last month by the time people are watching this. So yeah, Pittsburgh has been a real hub for this kind of activity, and we've seen some companies that have already sort of set up shop there, whether that's big companies like Google, who have an office in Pittsburgh, or Duolingo, which is based in Pittsburgh. So we're seeing the city trying to build around that reputation and really capitalize on the moment.
And there's kind of a, I guess, public-private partnership organization thing going that's sort of trying to promote this, and especially physical AI. Can you tell us a little bit about this group and also what physical AI is?
Yeah, so the city has this AI strike force, and they're predominantly focused on Pittsburgh, but they do have some, interest in general in this state of AI across the state of Pennsylvania. It's spearheaded by Joanna Doven, who was actually, she got her start as a press secretary for Pittsburgh mayor. And since then, she's kind of really focused in on the impact of tech and AI. She herself went to Carnegie Mellon University, so I think that's part of where she got the inspiration, and also from seeing the city host the G20 summit several years ago. So through that idea, she's built this strike force where she's gotten together people from, various people from both the public and private sector. She talks about Bakery Square, which is a neighborhood basically in Pittsburgh, where it started out as this old Nabisco factory that had been abandoned and just kind of a derelict area. And that is where they decided to invest and start to build this AI infrastructure for offices and stuff like that. And since then, it has expanded into what they call AI Avenue. So that's how you're seeing it build. But in terms of what they want to see more of, they're looking to get investors and people basically moving out of Silicon Valley and towards Pittsburgh. One of the big reasons for that is physical AI, because we think about AI as this like non-local mental entity that exists out there somewhere. But to use AI in a lot of cases, you need to have it attached to some sort of physical object, whether that's, a robot or like a sensing system, or, they use it in things like submarines. They use it a lot in defense. You have to have something that holds the AI and uses the AI. So that's where Pittsburgh, I think, where they're trying to really shine the light on Pittsburgh, because it's already known as an industrial city. It already has this reputation for steel, and Pennsylvania itself has a pretty big footprint when it comes to things like defense and research. So it seems to fit there.
And we've talked, or you and Kristen have talked before on the podcast about some concerns that people have around the growth of AI, like, just the expanded use of energy, the impacts of these data centers on the communities, things like that. Has this AI strike force, have they responded to any of those concerns?
I haven't heard a lot of direct responses that, really go head on towards people's concerns, but there is a lot of a sense that AI will correct its own problems, essentially, that by having AI, we will better be able to monitor things and improve our systems so that these problems don't necessarily exist in the future. I mean, you have things from like Joanna Doven spoke about talking to someone who worked for NVIDIA about the idea of cancer not existing in the future. So, if you can kind of take it from there and extrapolate outward, we can expect there to be things like more efficient use of water, benefits to agriculture, more efficient use of energy. But right now, they are very much calling for more natural gas drilling and bringing some of those plants back online and even making new ones. They're also working with nuclear energy, which is a very clean type of energy, except we still haven't really solved the problem of nuclear waste. So there's some big concerns that still exist there. And I think people are very optimistic about solving those concerns with AI, but we just, it's one of those industries that's moving faster than legislation is, I think. So, the hope and the promise is there, but, still hasn't quite been laid out how exactly we will avoid the pitfalls.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting way to respond to concerns, is to say, well, it'll solve its own problems if you wait long enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
well, hopefully.
Yeah. I've spoken to people who work with AI, like even in the data centers, like I know Amazon has like AI that self-repairs leaks and stuff like that, so that they're absolutely minimizing the amount of water that they're using. So, I mean, I know they are doing things already, but it's just, it seems like it's such a exponential leap ahead of us that it's so hard to envision how it's going to work.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how it goes, and I'm sure in the coming years, especially, we'll be following it very closely to see how these problems get resolved, what problems come up that we don't expect, anything like that.
Yeah, or we'll watch it report on itself.
Maybe. Well, for now, you can follow our reporting on it at thecentersquare.com. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.